TYT, why are you doing the things you're doing? Like, I used to have so much respect for the Young Turks, and now I'm continually baffled by the decisions that they make. You know? It's hard. It's hard, and I don't understand why. And this in particular. This is a video called Charlie Kirk Talks to Anna Jank about Trump's spiraling, okay? Like, why are you having Charlie Kirk on? You know, like, what's the purpose here? Because Charlie Kirk is a bad faith actor. He's a fascist. He is a Christian nationalist. He does shows with his, like, evangelical, like, fasci church. It's weird. Is this another interview in addition to the one a few weeks ago? Yes, Ethriel. This is one from 6 days ago. This is from the DNC. And I just, there was a time when Charlie Kirk might have at least been described as someone who was willing to engage with, like, actual ideas, who would, like, you know, lose some kind of, I'm trying to think of a different way of saying this, but, like, lose face, lose clout, like there was actual skin in the game for him if, like, he just said something that was blatantly untrue, you know? Yes, here it is. But this happened, I think, a little bit after this, which, yeah, like, I need you all to understand, okay? What am I trying to get at here? I'm kind of rambling, right? What I need you all to understand is that fundamentally, Charlie Kirk no longer cares about being correct, okay? He doesn't care about actually putting up an argument or a point. He has moved from trying to win people over by making arguments that appeal to some kind of logic or reasoning, and has moved into an anti-intellectual embrace of Christian nationalism, a more American formulation of fascism, right? And you can tell this because there was a point in his life where Charlie Kirk would argue, you know, with, you know, facts, you know, usually garnered from, like, conservative think tanks, but, you know, at least somewhat grounded in something out there, right? But the approach to the grift has changed, right? In the Trump era, increasingly, and I think that this comes from people like Alex Stein, if you guys are aware of who that is. Alex Stein is like, I believe he's a Blaze TV show host now. He's done some, like, incredibly weird and racist things on his show. Like, he had like a naked black man, like chained up on his, it was very weird. I did a video about it like a year and a half ago or something. He's famous for, like, sexually harassing AOC. It's really weird. And the issue is Alex Stein will just go out and say anything. Like, he'll go out and tell you that 9/11 was done by holograms with no shame, and then the next day, like, completely walk that back, contradict it, whatever. It doesn't matter, because the nature of the grift has fundamentally changed. You know, the audience no longer needs a veneer of truth to it. It can just be a lie. It can just be a lie. Because fundamentally, and you can see this in, like, a lot of the debates, specifically in, like, the manosphere from, like, the Andrew Tate types, they don't need to be correct about anything. They just need to maintain their vibe, whatever that is. And I think this really demonstrates what I'm talking about here, okay? This is a video that Charlie Kirk himself posted from the DNC, okay?
Because we have a Republican governor and a Republican secretary of state in the state of Georgia.
What's your name? He said Parker?
My name's Parker. We have a Republican governor and a Republican secretary of state in Georgia that approved our elections, and Donald Trump said that wasn't constitutional.
Right,
Donald Trump tried to undermine our Constitution.
You're at 10. I just walked in. I'm here to just learn.
Hey, you're an anti-patriotic, anti-constitutional person crashing our party because you tried to stop our democracy.
I got one question.
Donald Trump called the secretary of state of Georgia and told him to find him some votes.
What is a woman?
Oh my God.
See? It doesn't matter. You know? Oh, I'm just here with an open mind. I'm here to learn and listen. Ignores every single point, correct point, by the way, that this man, I believe Parker, president of the Young Democrats of Georgia, ignores every single point and just asks, like, the boilerplate transphobic talking point. You know? It doesn't matter anymore. I'll just finish this real quick.
That is so fucking weird, y'all. Maybe you should meet one.
I'm married to one.
Same.
I do have to say, though, in a very similar vein, Charlie, why are you posting that? He owned you. He owned you, man. Like, even in, like, Charlie's world, like, he got wrecked. Like, Charlie, if you don't know what a woman is, why are you asking? Why are you, how'd you marry one, Charlie? How'd you do that? Yeah, conservatives posting their L's. It's true. Tipster and a bunch of us were literally going ballistic over that video. It was strange. It's very strange, but it makes way more sense when you understand that for them being correct, like for these conservative grifters like Charlie Kirk, being correct doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter because what they're doing is radicalizing their base and reaching out via alternative routes to get more of an audience. Like, for Charlie Kirk, his method of gaining audience share these days is essentially piggybacking off of this Christian nationalist, kind of revivalist evangelical movement that he has attached himself to, you know? So for him, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be correct because all he needs to do is maintain the vibe. This is part of the instability and unsustainability of the fascist death cult. They are unable to deal with the world in empirical terms, and as a result, like, they can't engage in this way anymore, you know? So it's just, it brings me all back to my fundamental question here. Why are you engaging with him? Why engage with Charlie Kirk as if he is going to be acting in good faith? You know? Well, in Gamergy, I'm not saying that he cares or has ever been like a figure that is not grifting. The point that I'm trying to make is that the need to grift by using accurate information is gone. That era is dead. He can just say one thing and then say another a couple minutes later. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He can say the moon is made of cheese or that NASA's never been there. He can say the earth is flat. It doesn't matter. Because ultimately it's like this anti-empiricism. Really, for the current movement he's in, all that really matters at the end of the day is the fundamental question of, like, trans people and Jewish people. Like, those are the two key questions for the movement Charlie Kirk is in right now that determine which kind of conservative faction you're in. It's just going full fascist at this point. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, right? It's just so, it's bizarre to me. Here, let's look at, and maybe they push back. I don't know. I just was really struck by the fact that they had him on in the first place when he's so clearly a bad faith actor. And I don't think that they are capable of pushing back on him. Let's look at this effectively. Let's look at this most viewed portion of the video and before we move on, because I don't want to get bogged down in watching this almost hour-long exchange. I don't think it's worth our time.
We just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT.
God, it was an ad.
Love you for it.
Here's the thing. Again, totally agree that if you run against the establishment, that's your best chance, right? And I think that before I got a sense that people love Trump for Trump on the MAGA side. Now I get a sense that there's even a splinter group that says, I actually don't love Trump, but I love that he's fighting the establishment and I hate the establishment so much, I'm gonna vote for Trump, right? But he hurts his cause massively when he's constantly pleasuring donors on stage at rallies. When he says like, oh yeah, I was against electric vehicles, but now Elon Musk is strongly endorsing me, meaning giving me $90 million, right? Yeah, and it might be more than that. So now I love electric vehicles.
I will give Trump some credit. If you listen to his Twitter space, he was pretty, they had a back.
Here's the thing, like, Charlie doesn't care about this.
And forth. They were talking more at each other than to each, with each other. But he still says he doesn't believe in the electric vehicle mandate, to be fair, right? He doesn't believe in the subsidies for electric vehicles. So, I mean, I'm sure there's other examples you could list, but look, politics is never going to be pure as much as we'd like it to be. But I think that President Trump has done a very good job of.
Again, it's the classic conservative rejoinder, which is just, he's imperfect, but we agree with him on most of the stuff.
Having this economic populist message. And the other message that needs to be talked about, which I think is the Achilles heel of the Democrat Party, where Bernie Sanders used to actually have a great position on, is immigration. And the vast majority of this country thinks that we have too many people coming into the country too quickly in an unvetted way. And the economic populism one, Kamala Harris, I said this on my show, she has put the Republicans on defense. I think her policies are insane, to be honest. We could debate that, but it might be not a good use of our time. I think her policies are insane, but they're very popular. They're very popular to say, I'm going to make it easier for you to buy a home. I'm going to, make grocery prices more affordable. I think price controls are a bad idea. But immigration is a very difficult issue for the Democrats. It's very difficult for them to navigate because the body politic thinks that we have too many people coming into this country. And I think President Trump needs to lean into it.
So, sorry, just real last thing on the donors. I hear you.
Incredible.
On immigration.
More examples. I'm happy to.
Yeah. But so, you got Elon Musk, you got the oil companies where he just keeps saying, hey, look, they're giving me money and we should drill, baby, drill, and all this stuff. He just can't help himself from being obvious. But the number one, like the one that I'm curious as to your take, Miriam Adelson. So when.
No pushback at all on the immigration stuff? Like, guys, it's not like the facts are against Democrats and like, I mean, frankly, not even Democrats, leftists when it comes to immigration. Like, immigrants are good for the economy. Like, immigration boosts our economy. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, projects that we're going to bring in via immigration over $100 billion. Or sorry, not 100 billion. Sorry, $900 billion over the next decade due to immigration. Okay? If we do nothing to curtail immigration, our country will literally be almost $1 trillion more wealthy. If we actually funded the border in terms of like our administrative staff, our bureaucratic staff, we would actually be able to process people at a reasonable rate. People wouldn't be in detention for years and years and years, or awaiting their court dates for, you know, multiple years because it's so backed up. If we actually just invested in it, it wouldn't be a huge problem, guys. But instead of any amount of pushback, like pointing out, hey, immigrants are less likely to commit crimes, including undocumented immigrants, than American citizens. We have data on this, guys. Like, it's really bizarre to me that there's no pushback on this when the rejoinders, when the response you make to this is just, hey, here's like 2 or 3 facts that completely blow you out of the water on this issue. But instead, let's talk about Miriam Adelson.
He's saying, hey, I gave her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. First of all, she's a donor. Why'd you give her the Presidential Medal of Freedom? That's terrible, right? And that's better than the Medal of Honor. That's a disaster, right? So what do you make of that? Like, are you bothered that he's saying those things?
No, I'm not. I mean, he's pro-Israel. You know he's pro-Israel, and he's not going to share your views on that. But yeah, I mean, he was pro-Israel throughout his presidency. What you're getting at is he pro-Israel because of donor money? I don't believe that.
And you don't think? Do you think you should have given the Medal of Freedom to Miriam Adelson?
I don't have a strong opinion on that. I think he gave it to her also.
Yeah, like I have to be honest. Like, Cenk, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit if the president could give that medal to anybody? Like, didn't Rush Limbaugh get one? Like, it doesn't matter. Why are you like pushing back on the immigration point to try and make this, well, he gave a medal to like a bad person. Yeah. Why is that getting more airtime than the actual border issue? Yeah, Rush Limbaugh did get one. Okay. Yeah. So, anyway, I saw this video go up and I watched like the first couple minutes of it, but I was really struck here about the comments under the video. Oh crap, I actually agree with Charlie on the house issue. Most reasonable, Charlie. Capable of having a conversation. More Republicans should remember what that was like. Oh, hey, Charlie Kirk is an idiot and deeply dishonest person. I think TYT should stop talking to him. He brings nothing to the table if of right-wing idiocy. True. Yeah, like, here's the thing. Here, this comment, like, points it out. TYT sits there and is honest about every topic. This fucking idiot Kirk never at once says anything to agree with Trump's BS. Go figure, fucking Republican a-holes. Yeah, because Charlie Kirk doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't actually want to root his opinions in facts. He rejects empirical reality. Charlie Kirk had laser beams coming out of his eyes, was waiting for him to tear his shirt and reveal the S symbol. This was so refreshing. We need more discussions like this. The people who are going to hate on TYT for bringing Charlie on are the people who keep America divided. Yeah, because what we need to do is find common cause with fascists. That's worked out so well in the past of world history. Trump is going to win the biggest landslide in American history. Love from Spain. Thanks. We really need the Francoist support here in America. Like, haven't watched much of Charlie Kirk or know who he is, but he was so logical and smooth with his talking points and made Cenk's arguments look a little weak. I used to absolutely hate TYT after liking them in the beginning. Keep it up like this, have honest, friendly, and constructive conversations with the right wing, and you'll definitely get viewers like myself back again. Like, yeah. TYT, you've reached the intended audience. You're reaching the core Republican demographic. You know, the core Trumper demographic. You know, your liberal politics are winning them over, I'm sure, and not the opposite. Really apropos of nothing here. Just taking a look over here. Adopting right-wing policies does not help center-left win votes. That's so interesting. Study of European electoral data suggests social democratic parties alienate supporters by moving towards the political center. Huh. I wonder if there's any larger lessons to be learned from this. Adopting right-wing policies on issues such as immigration and the economy does not help center-left parties win votes, according to a new analysis of European electoral and polling data. Faced with a 20-year decline in their vote share, according to rising support from the right, far right, and sometimes the far left, social democratic parties across Europe have increasingly sought salvation by moving towards the political center. However, the political analysis published on Wednesday shows the center-left parties promising, for example, to be tough on immigration or public spending are unlikely to attract potential voters on the right and risk alienating existing progressive supporters. So interesting. Voters tend to prefer the original to the copy, said Tariq Abu Shadi, an associate professor of European politics at the University of Oxford and co-founder of the Progressive Politics Research Network, which launched on Wednesday. That's so interesting. One of the most significant misperceptions the team's work had revealed, he said, concerned the nature of support for center-left parties in Europe. Social structures have been utterly transformed since the heyday of social democracy. The average social democratic voter today is very, very different from 50 or even 20 years ago and unlikely to be an industrial worker. The data also shows that most of this new constituency is actually both culturally progressive and economically left-wing. Oh, that's crazy. That's so weird. It's so weird that moving to the center would alienate people on the left. And I wonder if there's any lessons to take away from that for the largest progressive news network on the internet. I'm just going to leave it at that.
What are you, a fucking liberal? What? Law!
Anyway. TYT was never progressive. No, it certainly was. Has anyone told you you're gorgeous and adorable today? Aside from my partner, no, but well, maybe. I haven't checked Twitter, but I'll take it. Thank you so much for covering this. I've been so upset and frankly pissed about TYT for months. The comments section totally ended my TYT watching. John saying there's a storm coming in his ads. I don't know what that last bit is about, but yeah, there's been a definite shift, and it's been very dispiriting to see. TYT was like one of the things that got me interested in politics. You know, like I wanted to learn more about progressive values and ideas. And like I really looked up to and respected Anna and Cenk. You know, it's hard to launch a progressive news network, guys, and the fact that they did it is pretty cool and groundbreaking and has been quite successful. But like, you know, it's been really downhill for like the last 2 years. I mean, honestly, probably like 4 years, but the last 2 years in particular. Yeah, Majority Report, that's always been top tier. Always been top tier. And Brianna Huffman, like, I've had Anna on the show. Like, it sucks. For a long time, my channel trailer was actually like an endorsement by the TYT hosts. They shouted me out on the show. And I know a lot of their mods watch my show, and like it's just sad. It bums me out. Not that the mods watch my show, but just like I sympathize with a lot of y'all.